In our last video, we showed you how you can impress a driving examiner straight away from the very start and what are the things that really annoy them. We've also shown you from first hand as a fully qualified driving instructor some of our experiences and how you can stand up to the driving examiner if they're in the wrong. We're just going to carry on with the video. We're going to give you some of our really important tips in order to impress our driving examiners. We're going to show you exactly what not to do in order for them to be annoyed. So these are some of the secret tips for you students to take away and apply it in your driving exam and hopefully pass your driving test and impress that driving examiner. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It's only a click from you guys, but it makes a big difference to our channel. And also we got our site fmdriverschool.co.uk for all the latest updates and everything that we discuss in the videos and explained a bit more thoroughly in our site. So do check it out, fmdriverschool.co.uk. Just to quickly recap, we talked about in our last video how when you get to the test center, make sure you park correctly facing towards the gate so that you're ready to drive off. We talked about how you get there 5 minutes early. Do not be late. They really don't like this. If you're about 45 minutes late, that's the threshold they're going to allow you to be. But any later than that, you're not going to do your test. But as I said, if you're late, they're going to really hate that. So make sure you're there 5 minutes early. We talked about bringing the correct ID. So make sure you have your provisional ID ready. Do not leave it in the car. When the examiner asks you for your provisional ID, make sure you got it on your hands. Don't have it lying in the car, and so you have to then walk back to the car, get the ID, come back to the test center. So they don't like this. One thing I forgot to mention was, do you need your theory test certificate when you come to the test center? So in your email confirmation, they do ask you to bring it along with you. But in order for you to book the practical test, you need your theory test certificate number ID, don't you? So you cannot actually book a practical test without the theory ID number. So the examiners know this. They know that you've got a theory certificate. So if you don't have your theory test certificate or you've lost it, it actually isn't a big deal. As an instructor myself, I calm my students down telling them it's cool, don't worry about it. But at the same time, we still have to advise you correctly, which is in the email confirmation, they ask you to bring it. But never in my life have I ever seen a driving examiner ask my student for a theory test certificate. In fact, one of my students actually mentioned that they couldn't find it, and the examiner said to them, it's cool, because in order for you to book a practical, you have to have your theory test certificate number. So that's a really quick recap in regards to how to impress your driving examiner from our last video. Do catch it because there's more to it. We've explained a bit more in depth and we talked about our first-hand experiences as a driving instructor. When the examiners come out, they're going to come out exactly on the dot. So if the test is at 11:11, they'll come out at 11:11. Don't be daydreaming. I know you're nervous, but be ready for them to call out your name. Once they come out, they'll say, is for example, Sue Barker here. And be ready to jump out and say, yes, it's me. Or they might say, it's Cristiano Ronaldo here. Be ready. Don't be sitting around days then. You know, they don't want to call out your name a couple of times. So just be ready, okay, guys? One question you could ask is it important to dress well? Is that really necessary? When I started the job, I actually thought it was. I thought, even myself, I thought, let me dress up quite smart. But the examiners don't really care how you dress, I notice. But I don't think it hurts to look a bit presentable. Don't look scruffy. But I have noticed that they don't really care how you're dressed or anything. Maybe because they've met so many people that it's just nothing that they concern themselves over. And when they come to you, they're going to check your documents, your ID, your provisional license. They're going to make you sign some insurance papers. Is it important to shake their hands? Is that necessary? I would say don't stretch out your hand to shake their hands. Let them do it first, okay? Because I've seen sometimes the student try to shake the hands of an examiner and the examiner didn't reach out to them. And it just looks really awkward. So I would say they'll come to you. They'll call out your name. If they want to shake your hands, they will. If they don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's a good or a bad sign. It's just, they actually advise not to shake the hands of students. And then you guys are going to walk together outside to the test center and they're going to check your eyesight. So make sure you've checked your eyesight that you can read about 4 to 5 cars length away, which is 20.5 meters. So a nice way to assess is count 5 cars in front of you first, see if you can read the number plate. If you can't, count 4 and then see if you can read the number plate. If you cannot read 20.5 meters, they will terminate the test there and then. You're not going to do your driving test. So I would say to you, go check your eyesight in advance if you got a slight problem with them. Make sure it's 20.5 meters. I've actually had one student, so you know, we checked my student's eyesight, they were completely fine, but on the test day they couldn't read the number plate the examiners asked them to read. And I was baffled because the day before or the week before we checked and she couldn't read it that day. So then what the examiners did was they got a measuring tape out, measured 20.5 meters, and then my student was able to read the number plate. After she passed, she did pass again. I know it sounds like all my students are passing, but they do. So I asked her, how come you couldn't read the number plate? And she just said, I don't know, maybe I was nervous. So that was a slightly freak situation that I've experienced myself. So make sure you guys can read the number plate, 20.5 meters, which is roughly 4 to 5 cars length. Once your eyesight has been checked, the examiner is then going to proceed to ask you 2 questions about the car. So the first question could be inside or outside the car, so bonnet questions, or inside the car. You may take you inside, you sit down, and he asks you a car. And the other question could possibly be while you're driving. But minimum, he's going to ask you, the examiner that is, 1 question. Now, if you don't know the answer to the question, you will not fail, but it doesn't look good at all. You should be prepared for it. They're all online. They're not that difficult, and some of the questions are slightly common sense. We're not here to patronize, but for example, how do you check the brakes are working? Once you hear it, once you know it, it's kind of embedded in your head. So you just press the brakes as you're driving. They shouldn't pull to one side or the other. They shouldn't be slack or soft. So as you can imagine, once you hear it, it's in your head. So from the examiner's point of view, as a teacher, as a student, once we've taught it to you, you should know it. I mean, why are you struggling with that particular question? So make sure you know it. They're all online. They're all on YouTube. And your instructor should really have prepared you for it, prepped you for it. Because some of the questions will be inside the car and some are the bonnet questions. And to be fair, if you don't know the answer to the question, the examiner may slightly give you a hint, may try to guide you towards the answer. But like I said, we want to impress the examiner from the get-go. We want to show them that we know exactly what we're doing. We know what we're talking about. We're ready for the test. So make sure you learn it. There's about 20 or so questions. As I said, once you've done it once or twice, it should be in your head, hopefully. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. There's so much more I could say. There's so much more information that I could possibly give you, but we don't want to make it too long and make it boring, because it is exhausting listening to me and taking all this information in. Do watch our other videos. We've made so many videos giving you guidance how to pass your driving test, giving you tips on how to impress your driving examiners in different methods, different ways. Subscribe to our channel, FM Driving School. Do like and share. And we also got our driving site up, fmdrivingschool.co.uk. Go check it out. There's so much more information on that site. Thank you again for watching, and take care.